Well, we're here to do the news review. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm great.
What's today's date again?
I think I forgot it.
Are you broke?
No, not really.
Yeah, that's why you can't remember the dates.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
no,
like you
not
would
really.
know.
Not really. I kind of, I kept telling viewers that you need to,
Oh yes,
so
I
the-
remember.
so
I
the
think it
fee-
started like from November.
Yeah, so the
You have to
fees have been set
plan
aside.
towards January.
You buy more ECG credits. So,
Yeah,
so
that's
some
true.
things that you could need and have something for emergencies and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boy, you planned well.
Oh, just the basic stuff that Mr. Boache came to tell us. Yeah, you were awake, so you didn't experience
You
it.
learn, yeah. Okay, so I've got a question for you. How are you surviving January? They say it's like the longest month.
Yeah,
with all the celebrations.
I think on the contrary, it's been moving very fast.
Yeah?
Today will be, is it?
Today's 9th.
Ninth,
isn't it?
yeah. Ninth.
Yeah,
tomorrow
but
will be
9th is
10th.
still.
Well, it's
We
moving
still
very
have
fast
quite a
in
bit to
my,
go, is
I
it?
think so, yeah.
All right.
But usually I'm told that when it gets to 15th, it takes a long time before you get to
cross.
to 30th.
So,
it's
is it a difficult January for you? How are you crossing it? How are you
Yeah.
dealing with it? Most schools or some schools reopened yesterday. Do you have school fees issues? Or you learned well like Roland Walker and you're good?
Yeah.
Let us know. You can send us a WhatsApp message. But we're here to do the newspapers next. I've got 3 of the papers: the Daily Graphic, the Daily Statesman, and the Business Finder newspaper. Roland will do the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and the Finder, which has turned business on a Thursday. So let's begin. Oh no, I have the Business Finder rather. What do you
I
have?
think you still do.
Yeah, the Daily Graphic
Only
newspaper.
that they gave us 2 copies. So.
Front page of the graphic: we will compile credible register according to the Electoral Commission, which says it plans to have a new voters register for this year's general election. It will go ahead as scheduled. The Commission has reiterated the fact that the decision to have a new register is not intended to cheat or disenfranchise anyone, insisting that it will be vindicated at the end of the day. In that context, it has given an assurance that it would come up with a register that is better, more credible and efficient than the current one. So who's speaking to the Daily Graphic? Well, that's Dr. Srebo Kwako. He's Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission. And he said, quote, "We have our plan for the year and we have rolled it out," unquote. We know some political parties, including the main opposition, NDC, are not in favor of this. But that's the position of the Electoral Commission. They run the elections, right? Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, Men's Gold customers arrested for breaching Public Order Acts. So if you've been following the story closely, then you would know that Men's Gold has said in the past that they paid some 200 of their customers. Now, the customers have formed groups. Not all will be included in the one that we see demonstrating or protesting most of the times. But they say the 200, they don't know these 200. They've tried to find the 200. And how come if you're paying 200, you're saying that, and they're quite a number, right? That's a huge number. At least these ones that we know, the customers that have formed these groups, and they say, how come not one person
Has
came out
owned
of
up
even
to say-
our group to say, yes, I
Yes.
have been paid?
And we have to say that since the period, they've been able to bring themselves together. So they seem to have platforms that they communicate.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends who do too.
And you know, nobody really is helping them retrieve their monies, right? So yesterday they decided that we're going to find the CEO of Men's Gold. We're going to locate his house. And they came from Takwa, from Kumasi, some from Accra, different parts of the country. And they went to Trasacco because
Valley.
apparently that's where number 1 lives. That's where his house. And so you see in your shot there, our coverage of this, they actually trekked East Legon to Trasacco Valley to number 1's house.
Yeah. So
And then
so this will be maybe after Jiringano.
Yes,
from
after
Jiringano. You
Jiringano.
go to Jiringano.
Yes,
Yeah.
after JJ's Junction, you have to cross. And then, well, the police came in for disturbing the peace they arrested quite a number of the customers.
Yeah. They contravened the Public Order Act.
Did somebody complain? That's a question we should ask Kwesi for you, right? Did somebody complain or they
in the interaction, it was, you can surmise that they said some other residents.
Oh, so some
were being disturbed.
So some residents called the police.
Definitely.
Because I know that ideally, the police will not come and say you are disturbing public.
Well, they can.
They can.
Oh, you mean
but
out of the norm?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
They won't just show up.
Definitely. But contravention is if you flout the law, you flout the law.
So what? They arrested over what? Like 100? Like some huge number be like that? So where
and they gave them bail. So for those who could not get anybody to bail them, the heads of or their leaders of the association were the ones that bailed them.
This incident is sad. Yesterday I spent a bit of time thinking about it because, you know, we've told stories about how some of them are not well. It's not like you don't have money. So this is January, for instance, and think about it. Your money is locked up. You know, you saved with men's gold. And you need school fees. It's not like you don't have the money, but you can't access it. It's so painful. And I remember Fifi Kumsin sharing the story of this man who is ill. And he's got like 200,000 locked up.
And one of these.
Gee.
Yes, one of these.
So he can take care of himself with his own money, except that he
just
cannot
can't
access it.
Yeah.
And I think it's so painful, really. It's really, really heartbreaking. And to think that, and this is ordinary man's thinking, because I'm an ordinary person, that nobody is taking the money for you. Now you decide that we have found where the person who has my money lives and I'm going for it. And then you're picked up by the police.
Yes, because there had been some events prior to now. You know, after the complaints by the customers, following the announcement by the management of the defunct firm that they had paid 200, they raised issues. So Namwan also went onto his social media page or handle, especially on Twitter, and said that he had he could have chosen to take a certain discourse, and that he could have also had the law on his side, and nobody would have done anything. And I think that his vituperations were a bit exasperating for the customers. It was also a bit cheeky, more of tongue-in-cheek, as if, you know, it could to hell with you. So that also compounded or infuriated the customers the more. But it speaks volumes about how perhaps as a state we seem to have looked on and in the process legitimized certain actions, and innocent citizens, because of that legitimization, participated, and now they are at the brink of a meltdown, and we don't even have the support systems for people's mental state breaking down, for which they would need to be revived in a certain way. Because if you have your money there, I mean, you'll be mentally depressed.
Of course, absolutely.
So it's a very sad
I do hope
for those of us who are very close to people who have invested.
Yeah, and I hope that for the rest of us watching and thinking my money is not there and looking on, I hope that we're learning the lessons every step of the way. Honestly, yesterday I said, okay, so I say with Stambik here, and if I see, I don't know who are the owners, if I see the owners showing off and doing big things, I should go and withdraw my money or do something. You get what I mean? Like, you know, it shouldn't happen in real life. All right, so that's the ordinary side of us. Let's go back to the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Digital Terrestrial TV NCA did no wrong in regulatory changes, according to Professor Dodu. That's the Director General Ghana Standards Authority. Yesterday, we brought you the angle of Giba with that statement where they say there had been some changes. So, for instance, page 13, I think, was not part of the original documentation. The Standards Authority is speaking. It will be interesting to read on what Professor Alex Dodu had to say, but the headline at least says NCA did no wrong in regulatory changes. Also, Sega signs performance contracts with state enterprises. In the center spread of the paper, 3 envoys bid farewell. That's from Nigeria, Guinea, and India. They've completed their tours of duty yesterday. Bid farewell to President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House in Accra. On the back page of the paper now, government provides solar-powered rice mills for farming areas. Also, polio vaccination underway in Ahafo, Bono East, and Oti regions. All right, let's continue with the Daily Statesman. Front page of the Daily Statesman, Takrady Port records marked increase in traffic. United for growth, we stand. President urges Nigeria to help tackle trade and border problems. Tescon at 20 to storm Volta. And then in the Business Finder, that's the last paper for me, then Roland comes in. The Business Finder, economy set to remain resilient and achieve robust growth. Also, we will consolidate gains of your return. That's the Ghana Tourist Authority, I think. GTA, Roland? Ghana Tourism Authority, Abby? Yeah. That's it. And then inflation drops 1.5 percentage points. That story on page 5 in the Business Finder today. Let's see. Here we go. Ghana's inflation has reduced by 1.5% in the 12 months of 2019, primarily as a result of the rebasing of the country's consumer price index by the Ghana Statistical Service. The country's inflation, which measures the rate at which prices of goods and services are rising, dropped to 7.9% in December last year from 9.4% recorded in December 2018. For the whole of 2019, government managed to keep this economic metric in a single-digit margin, a good feat for a country that has historically struggled with high inflation. Story by Augustine Amwa and Raju J.R. Pawani. You can read what they put together in the Business Finder newspaper. Roland Walker, over to you.
All right, so let's go to the Ghanaian Times. That's on the front page. At the performance contract, inefficient CEOs to go to private sector at the performance contract signing ceremony. So we have the vice president, and we feature the story.
Inefficient
SOEs, sorry, I said CEOs.
State
enterprises. Yeah. The story is on page 15. We brought you the story as well, and the vice president elaborated about the Ghana.gov portal, which will house all MDAs, okay, ministry, department, and agencies. Okay, so all their portals will be on one platform. So if you want any service, you go onto that one platform. You don't have to go to their individual platforms, and then you scroll through. You get for DVL, you get for ministries, you get for district assemblies. Yes. So he says that will be activated by the close of the year. So we're hopeful as well. Yeah.
Would they be able to take all the traffic? Because some.
That is if we have the traffic.
No, because some of the agencies, you said all agencies, including the passport, for instance.
Passport, DVLA.
So some of them, because of what they do, will have high. And when people realize that going online also serves the purpose, they tend to use it. And passport, I think in recent times, people have been testifying how it's efficient online as well. So I'm just saying that if the traffic, but
because even for university admissions, or sometimes even for BEC, result checks, etc., I'm sure WAEC should be on it. If it's a government portal.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe we can ask more questions.
Kolibutichen Hospital and all that.
All right. But is that standard practice, though? Is that what exists?
So when you go to the US, they have main portals linking the states. Yeah, so.
All right. They say the things are there already. All we have to do is to just copy.
Yeah.
Even that one too is difficult.
Yeah.
Except for exam.
And talking about what we have to copy.
If you're writing exam and you knew that the person next to you was like some shark bee and he had opened his book, his paper, and you were to copy it, that one day, can you copy? I
swear. And talk about what we haven't been able to copy well. I've seen the NIA on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, the National Identification Authority, and they have 4 officials and another arrested for alleged registration and offences. Was it on Wednesday? Mamavi and I were talking about how sometimes register people who are foreigners without the right requisite documentation. We'll deal with corrupt police personnel. IGP is being pictured there. James Opombueno is the IGP, and other stories. But down there on page 19 also, where the story is featured, we have 90 men's gold customers arrested for besieging the residence of Nana Appiah Mensah 1. And on the back page, 100,000 NAPCO personnel to receive training on civic education. Okay, and then we have Upper West Regional Minister presenting report on death of 2-year-old boy to the Ghana Health Service. Dr. Hafiz Ben Saleh is the regional minister. Okay. Right. Let's go to the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has on the front page, men's gold client storm #1 house. We have NDC macho man found dead, Limford Owo. We also do have police hand contract killers and girlfriend killer for courts. Very controversial story. But on the back page of the Daily Guide, Gusa Games as the Ghana University Sports Association.
You know, it's interesting how people didn't see him do the killing, but they call him killer. You know? Ayo.
Gusa Games gather momentum. So we should say alleged killer.
I haven't said anything. I'm just
You're
saying
just pointing out. Money rules African football. I will dance on one leg. Oh, Paul Pogba has provided a fresh update on his injury status after undergoing an ankle surgery that is expected to keep him out for 4 weeks. And the Manchester United star shared a bizarre video on Tuesday following the lengthy operation in which he mistook his PP for apple juice and could not work out whether he was high or sober. This guy, man. Just to chop Manchester United money for free.
No, Charlie, the team now, we sell the team. They auction the team.
Yeah, but I know they try that.
Yeah.
All right.
You're done?
I'm done.
I was going to share a bit.
Yeah, yesterday, and this one, what's your view on this voters register compilation? You have no view.
It's just a timing thing,
exactly,
you know. It's just a timing, yeah. And when it has to do with elections, and this is going to be one crucial one, you need to build consensus. You know, you need to get everybody on board. I know not everyone would agree with you, but the timing thing, I think, is a big problem.
It's also same with me. It's about the timing, but it's not necessarily because whether it's needed or not. But the timing, because if you look at the things that we've got to do with numbers, I mean the population, in which we're supposed to extract data or collect data, we haven't done well with our history. And the recent history over the last 3 years have been very bad. One, NIA, registration. You know, initially when they started, we've missed the dates. You know, Professor Kenatifa.
Oh, we missed it one, we missed it again. I guess we missed it
even the rollout of the digital passport system, we missed the number of dates.
Shall I remind you, the address system,
exactly,
the famous one.
Exactly. So our timelines in collecting data doesn't just give anybody confidence that we are going to collect enough data, subsequently go on and display for people to come in, and subsequently we can update and everybody will be confident that this is the right
So the register we have today, is it credible?
Yes.
We just run elections on what,
yes.
17th of December?
If you listen to
Was it a credible exercise?
If you listen to the press conference of the Electoral Commission, and the gentleman had been here during the Yuletide also.
The Director of Electoral Services?
Yes, prior to the district level elections. The main related issue why we're changing is that the software and the other machinery that supported the data or the register we have is obsolete.
Did we cancel a certain contract or not?
Okay.
Did we?
So
but we didn't have a plan when we were cancelling.
So the Electoral Commission says it's obsolete because the manufacturers of the equipment are no more manufacturing, and so they have to depend on third parties. And for the previous elections they've convened up to now, what they've used as the backup based on the third parties that were doing the manufacturing of the equipment, they haven't worked very well. They claim that the ones that will pick the fingerprints, the scanners have not been working very well. And then yesterday I got the new one. He didn't say that when he came here, that they wanted to use facial recognition, and the current structure doesn't allow for updates. So at the end of the day, you need to
Did you say facial?
Yeah, so you need to get everybody on board so that
in an election year,
yes,
like with what?
We're just talking about how January is running, contrary to what our opinion was, that it will take a long time. And already we almost have half in the month. So we need a sort of consensus to be built.
We will have conversations on this. We'll allow you to have your say on this as well, but we have to do myjoyonline.com, and I really want to do the BBC because Harry and Meghan are in the news with some huge announcement, but this is myjoyonline.com. Legal education. New CJ will confront problems with human face. That's a former director of the Ghana Law School who's saying that. Start time secures TV rights for Ghana League and FA Cup. Oh, did we not cancel this contract as well? Did we not pull out?
No, this is a new.
This is a new one. Is it not the same?
Yeah, we called for new.
So we have a better deal with them.
New
now.
bits, yes.
Okay, all right. Are you over here? NDC struggling to raise funds for 2020 campaign. It's a question, but is it new? Like, this is normal, isn't it, when you're in opposition, Allah?
Yes, yeah, the parties tend to experience that.
Yeah. Welcome to real life. Mohammed's running mates for 2020 polls must meet these criteria set by Ghanaians. Kindly check it out on myjoyonline.com. Former multi-TV MD makes cover of magazine. That's Santokh Singh.
Ram Singh.
Yeah, managing director, who left not too long ago, really. PPP denies backing EC on new voters register.
Oh, they've pulled out of the...
Mahama concerned about wave of fake news in Ghana. Ghana's skeleton, is that it? Yeah. Olympian Akwesi Frimpong captures first top to finish. Many other stories on my Online. Angry school feeding caterers picket Ekufuado's residents over unpaid arrears. Hey, Charlie, election year. Things will happen. Caterers, roads, everything. All right, and then let's do a bit about this story about Harry and Meghan, because in a statement on Wednesday, they said that after many months of reflection and internal discussions, they plan to split their time between the UK and North America while continuing to honor their duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and other responsibilities. So what have they said? Okay, but let's bring the reaction. The royal family are said to be heads at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's announcement. They will step back as senior royals. Prince Harry and Meghan did not consult any senior royal before making the statement. That's according to the BBC. Buckingham Palace was blindsided, according to that report, as talks about their future had begun but were in very early stages. The palace said there were complicated issues to work through. The geographic balance will enable us to raise our son, that's the couple, with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with a space to focus on the next chapter. That's in the statement. Former press secretary to the Queen said exactly how they will execute their plan remains to be seen. There's a question of security. Who provides the security? Is it Scotland Yard, as it does provide royalty protection? Is it the Canadians that's going to be asked to provide it? Who is going to pay for it? So many questions. People are filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
But they say the
is it
media
Harry they
has
call
not
him?
been
Prince
fair.
Harry? He's under the influence.
Is he?
Yeah, that lady, I like her.
We saw
but now
Piers-
this decision makes me
Piers
confused.
Morgan tweeted and said that Meghan
I think
had
she's toxic
split
to
from
the royal family.
from friends, and now.
All the decisions they are taking is
But
unnecessary.
have you read about Harry? Have you followed him? You think he's a saint?
He
Charlie,
wants to be a
Benedict,
renegade
let's
in
talk
the royal
about
family.
Ghana.
You can't be in a royal family and be a
League.
renegade. He wants to follow. That will be his. Will be his uncle? No, grand uncle.
Prince Andrew.
No, there's one prince. Is it Andrew? Prince
The
Edward.
Reese.
There's Prince Edward who married an American lady.
Oh, okay.
subsequently,
I thought Andrew has also been in the news, for all the bad reasons.
Who was the brother of Queen Elizabeth's father? Yeah, and so had to be, just relinquished it, and so he had to be the king.